Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Well, this is a shakedown, and welcome
Hey.
into the attacking third. We are back. Me, Steve Benitez. Steve, signs of life with this Union team. A little home cooking's all this team really needed to feel good about themselves. Saturday night, we'll talk about this Union team shut out their rivals, the New York Red Bulls. And then last night, they went against a Montreal team that's been playing a little bit better on the road since early June. They shut out Houston down in Houston. They put up a 1-1 draw against Orlando, but however, they come to South Philadelphia and dealing not just with the Union, but you had to deal with, I felt it, you felt it, all the fans in attendance, whoever was underneath that fang suit, I blessed their heart. Dealt with that humidity, the dog days of summer for real. And I think the Union, I know we're going to get into it, I think the Union used the humidity to the next factor.
I mean, yeah, you have to sometimes. Like, if you're going to have these games in the summer, a midweek game, why not? This is what you practice in all week. Why not? You talk about teams like in the NFL, like Miami. They always say whenever teams travel down to Miami, Miami always has an advantage because of that weather. But last night it felt like the typical sports trap game, right? You and I, we were on the phone on the way down there talking about it, and you talk about the home cooking from the Red Bulls from Saturday, and everything looked good, and Montreal 15th in the East, Union first in the East. It just had the recipe for disaster, and it almost did, but it was this guy right here. Where's my finger? Here we go. Andre Blake, right? Who was the guy for the Union last night that I think was really should have been the man of the match. Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. No, so I'm with you, right? First of all, Andre Blake stood on his head last night, but again, so what I want to get into, talking about, I think you and I were talking about the weather playing a major X factor, because if you saw that game in the first half, and it was really a tale of two stories, because the Union were trying to get things rock and roll. I saw plays where Andre Blake was sitting in the backfield, looked for guys open. And I credit to the Montreal defense that kind of played a lockdown man-to-man defense where Andre couldn't really find someone wide open. There was times where he kind of, tossed the ball for a long stretch pass and hoping someone would get to it and make a play out of it. But, and I'll tell you what, when that second half came around, I don't know what was said, but here goes the thing about this team. Bradley Cornell said it best in the post-game interviews. He said, I didn't have to say anything. I'm in my room, my office. I can hear the guys talking already. Like, someone stood up and said, hey, like, we got to pick up the pace here. We're not playing. We're not doing our jobs here. Someone in that locker room fired up the team. That's signs of a good team. Like, no disrespect to the 76ers. But now with all this news that's coming out, and I'm not trying to shift gears into another lane, But it's obviously there's no leadership in that 76ers locker room. There's no leadership, I feel with the Phillies locker room. But you would see it here with the Philadelphia Union. There's leadership when the ship is not going right, when the train is starting to look like it's going off the track. Someone is in that locker room saying, trying to motivate the team, trying to get the team a good kick in the pants, maybe, that team in that second half came out with such a spark plug and really brought a lot of offensive pressure, and we're knocking on that Montreal doorstep.
Yeah, because you look at some of those guys, you talk about the humidity and in the weather, as much as it might benefit teams coming up here, it also hurts our guys. And you look at, I thought Vasilev in the second half was showing signs of just mental fatigue as well. He was fatigued, and you could see it. I mean, I don't even think he had any shin guards on. He had his socks all the way down to his ankles, and I was like, "Where's his shin guards?" But I think that's just because he was trying to cool off and didn't have any
Right.
sort of uh, fresh air on him. But same thing with Quinn actually last night. I thought Quinn last night was kind of out of sorts for himself. But then you talk about the locker room. That's Bedoya talking to those guys in the locker room. That's Glesnes talking to the actual man of the match, Makana, getting his first goal. And there's veteran leadership as well as the next and up and coming, guys like Makana, Danley, Lukic, Vasilev. So it's a good thing to have. And luckily, the post as well last night, the post helped a lot with Andre Blake. But I feel like that ultimately they got the 3 points, and that's what you want at home.
Yeah, is that listen, at the end of the day, listen, they're doing their job, they're beating up on the bad teams. Joe Howe checking in, he goes, the Union are feeding off the momentum from the crowd. And Joe, believe it or not, the crowd was electric yesterday. Again, I would have thought it would have been a little bit of and I was expecting an empty house. It's midweek. It's 100 degrees outside. The humidity is through the roof. I didn't expect the turnout that they got last night, and they got a decent turnout last night. So credit to the Philadelphia Union fans for being there. Now, like I said, but again, we're going to talk more about this game. And like I said, there's a lot of positivities, things you could take away from this team, right? Because Prince Azuo, am I saying that right? Prince Azuo, you got introduced by Owusu. Prince Owusu got introduced to the Prince of Subaru Park, which is in Thai Bad Boy Baribo, because my man went back into the scoring column, getting his 14th goal of the year. Like, that dude is just an absolute beast. But in hindsight and all that, I got to give the credit for the guy who didn't contribute at all on the scoreboard. I got to give Daniel Jacques John his benefits, because whenever he's got the ball on him, he's so aggressive and he just drives that ball straight down their opposing defense's throat. Like, he drove that ball, and every time he had possession of the ball, he just drove it down the belly of Montreal yesterday. Like, and he's fast, and they really tried to do everything they could to clog up the lane, which helped the ball get loose. Quinn Sullivan finds Ty Bad Boy Baribo, and then Ty Baribo finds the back end in
And
it.
I'm with you on Danley, 100%. One of his best skills from what I feel like personally is his ability to change his pace from playing defense to now we're attacking on offense. And it is so fluid. Like, what he is able to do with the ball at his feet, right? Big plays usually happen for the Union when he's involved. Now with Baribo, I kind of felt like last night he got the goal, right place, right time. Good for him. That's where he's supposed to be. As a forward, that's how you're going to get, as a striker, that's how you're going to get some of your goals. Right place, right time. And he tends to be there. But last night, I kind of just felt like he wasn't himself. I don't know if that injury that he had, a few weeks ago is still kind of lingering. But and I thought that the sub, what a perfect sub, right, for Carnell. Timing, sorry, right timing. Donovan, I don't like who came on for Baribo. I would have liked to see Marcus Anderson get some more time on the bench as a striker, but I think that's where the Union need help. They need help for Baribo and Damiani.
What? Yeah, and like I said, I would have seen. I like to see a little better rotation. Joe House says the game was a national TV game. By the way, yeah, it was. If you don't have the MLS package, it was on Apple TV. But hey, listen, nonetheless, though, here goes another thing. I gotta pick a bone with this Union club, and I know I don't want to be the guy who pees in everyone's ice cream right now. I know everyone's enjoying their Union. I know everyone's happy with the 2 wins. I know this team picked up 4 goals in the last 2 games, but however, I mean, let's be real here. You're looking at 2 bad road teams. They are horrible. I mean, yes, Montreal has been playing better as of late, but still, nonetheless, you beat a Red Bulls team that's 7-4 on the road. You beat up Montreal, who's 2-8-3. Like, I'm sorry, I can't get us beat up these teams. I need to see the teams that you've been, the likes of the Nashvilles, the likes of the Columbus Crew, the Miamis. Yeah. You start putting away the big name, the big dogs of the league. I'm back all on board. Yes, am I enjoying the wins? Absolutely. Are these momentum builders? Absolutely. But I need to see this team put away the bigger echelon, teams of the MLS. And until they put away the Nashvilles, the Columbus Crews, I'm giving you the golf clap. I'm giving this Union team the golf clap for putting away the Montreals and Rebels. And they want a loud clap for me. They want that applause clap. I need you guys to put away the Nashvilles and the Columbus Crew because that's the teams you guys have been struggling with through the course of the year. So until then, I'm going to give you the silent golf clap that you deserve. Now, here goes another problem that's now I made the joke about Prince Owusu, getting introduced to Thai bad boy Baribo, but here goes another problem, though. How many times that Prince Owusu was left all an island all by himself? I mean, he got the goal for Montreal. You and I talked about Philly needs to keep their eyes on this guy. And there was plenty of times where he walked through the back door. There was no one protecting the back door of the garage. I mean, he was back there, and he was a silent assassin. And luckily there was one that came off the post, like you mentioned earlier. Andre Blake getting tested by this kid. And I asked the question in the post-game interview with Bradley Carnell, and I asked him, I said, will there be, will there be something going on through the course of the week to try to fix that problem? Because Prince Owusu was finding success backdooring this team, being left wide open, and he said, that's something that they're going to have to address. But he's watched Prince Owusu grow up through the soccer ranks, and just become a threat in this league is. I don't know if it's a fun to watch, but it's going to be he's glad because he's seen the kid grow up here, but at the same time, I'm like, well, if you knew the kid was going to become like a deadly striker, I'm sorry, if I know Steve is coming into Philly, I don't care where Steve is. I don't care if Steve needs to go to the bathroom break, he's sitting on the bench drinking water. I need all eyes on Steve because I know when Steve takes the field, he's going to be a problem for my squad. I need to put him
That's right.
in double situations, double coverage. Like, I don't understand. Like, where was the double coverage on, Prince Russo? Like, he was having success. There was a play off the rush, and now here goes and I was talking with Dave about Dave Milata Jr. Like the play where he slipped, like the ball, he gets the pass, he kind of slips on the grass. The pass goes a little bit behind him. He slips on the grass. If he didn't slip on that grass, we might be looking at a 2-2 draw.
And he's the only guy. Prince was the only guy on Montreal that could have beaten the Union. So just to add on to your point, if that's the only guy, then your game plan should have been the only way we're going to lose is if he beats us. So we're going to do everything we can to force someone else to beat us. And if you do, good on you, but you're not going to be able to, right? To go back to your point about beating these bottom feeder or just about 500 teams versus really losing to the top 4 teams in the conference, right? The Union have to, I feel like, win these games versus the Montreal, Houston coming up on Saturday, Chicago, Red Bulls, Toronto, those games in August. You got DC, New England, NYCFC in September and October, Charlotte to end the season. Your final 3 real big tests for the year are Colorado, Cincinnati on the road, and Vancouver on the road, right? Now you look at the teams that they've lost to,
Correct.
right? You've lost to them on the road. You lost to Miami on the road. You lost to Columbus on the road. Now you at least took a draw versus those same teams at home. The only way the Union have a chance, I think, in the playoffs to make a deep run is if you continue to beat these 500, below 500 teams and finish first place and get home field advantage throughout. Because at least at home, you're getting, draws where maybe we're going to extra time and who knows what might happen. But I just don't have faith right now in what the Union can do versus elite opponents like Columbus, Miami, Nashville on the road. I'd feel much better at home, but on the road, it's like I feel like this is going to be a loss.
Well, that's why, again, like the Philadelphia Union with some home cooking takes care of the Red Bulls, take care of Montreal. And to me, it's golf claps. Great. You're winning games. You're winning games that you're supposed to be winning.
Right.
Well, win the ones that are going to be a test for you. Win the eye test that tells you and I, all right, this team is really championship bound or they're just playoff bound. It's great to be playoff bound. You're going to make the playoffs. You missed it last year. That's a great, fun thing. But when you're in first place, and you and I talked about this a few weeks ago, expectations do change because now you're going to get the supporter shield. That's all fun and dandy. Now I want you to finish the story. And can this team finish the story? Can this team go on and hang with now Nashville in a series? I'm not sure. I've seen Nashville come in here and slap this team around. I've seen Nashville slap this team around on the road. It kind of boggles my mind.
Nashville bothers me.
And Nashville's about, I will say, of any team in the East, Nashville's the one you got to keep your eye on. Nashville,
100%
right now is playing on a whole nother level. I mean, now with this team fully healthy and everyone back in the lineup, there's no one's getting the call-ups. This team could be a lot different. This team could be a lot better than what they are. They could probably put away Columbus, Miami's in a series, but Nashville is going to be the test for me. I think if any team right now that's going to give Philly a run, it's going to be Nashville.
Question for you. You're golf clapping right now.
Yes, sir.
for all these games, right? Now, August 30th comes around when they're on the road against Cincinnati, who's number 2 right now in the East. And then they follow that up the next
Right.
week on the road versus the number 2 current team in the West. Will wins against those teams make you feel a little bit better about Nashville, Columbus, Miami, and those losses and draws earlier on in the season?
It
Because
depends where
that's your last
Columbus is
test.
at. It depends where those teams at. Right.
That's
If
going to be
you
your
can
last
survive
test.
that,
So,
if you get through Cincinnati, you get through Vancouver, I'm in a much better place. I'm going to be much happier. If those two teams are relevant and they're contenders, I'm much more happier. Much more happier to see that team. And if they can put away those two teams, all right, now I'm feeling a little better heading into the postseason. I'll feel a little bit better. Right now, it's just golf claps from here on out until and like I said, they could go Saturday. They could go into Houston and dominate this team. A 4-0 win. It would still, for me, would be a golf clap because again, these are wins you're supposed to have. Win against the big dogs, win against the top tier teams, win against the Nashvilles and the Columbus and Miami's and Cincinnati's, win against those teams, and then I'll give you a Paul's clap. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But we are going to go into Houston.
would
Steve,
a
where
would
are
would a
you?
3-0 would a 3-0 win helped you a little bit? Maybe not golf clap, but maybe like, get the shoulders involved with the clap a little bit, make it a little bit louder, a little bit louder than a golf clap sort of deal.
Are you talking about for yesterday?
Yeah, if it would have been a dominant win, 3-0, 4-1 sort of deal, would you have felt a little bit better with these wins? Like if they can go out and dominantly beat these guys, Toronto, Colorado, Houston, Red Bulls, Chicago, um, get some clean sheets in there, even if it's like 2-0. Will there be anything besides just beating the elite teams that will help you
No,
get on board? No. Right now you're treating them like first class right now. You're treating the Union
no.
top notch.
Steve, I don't know if you're too young to remember this, but do you remember Rocky 3?
Yeah.
Do you remember the storyline in the very beginning of the movie where Rocky was running through the boxing ranks, defending his titles against all these hand-picked easy opponents, and then he got in the ring with Clubber Lane, and he never saw anything like Clubber Lane come at him. And that's how I feel Nashville is. Nashville is that that
All right. That's a good.
hungry dog
All right.
that's been that's got this Philadelphia Union team well scouted and ready to tear through them. Here goes Joe Hell goes, I think the Union team is going to be strong in the MLS playoffs. Joe, listen,
Joe
I
believes.
hope so too. I hope that I'm wrong. I want to put a sock in my mouth one of these days and tell me to shut up. That might just happen. But yeah, Steve, I just need to be a believer. And like I said, it's hard for me to see these kind of wins. And look, I'm great. Look, if you're a casual Union fan, how are you not happy with this layup that's coming at you? I mean, this is a layup schedule
Correct.
that's
Correct.
coming. Now maybe one of these teams catch fire, but like you said, the only anywhere on the schedule is not till late August, early September. And then it's kind of like a breeze. So look, let the Union do their thing, let them constantly get better. Again, how about this stat though, Steve? And I got to credit I forgot the name in the Inquirer, but 16 players of the Philadelphia Union have contributed to the scoring column. Are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. But that, And the guy asked Bradley Cardinal, like, is this something he just goes, and again, Bradley Cardinal must have a twin brother that walks around there because he's like, that's the credit to these guys. And he was really soft and easy on people last night. I thought it was his twin brother. He's really like, that's on the side of I'm used to. But he's happy for the team that he's got. And his message has been the same since day one. Challenge each other, push each other. Fight for minutes. Fight for minutes. And that's what this team is doing. And they're displaying their hungriness. Like you and I talked about at the beginning of the show. I mean, both teams are getting worn out by the humidity. Like both these teams are getting worn out by the humidity that's getting played into this game. It's won't be the X factor. And the Union just find like they kind of smell like blood in the water. And they are the hungry sharks. And they were just feeling like, you know what? Montreal just can't handle the Philly heat. Let's go export that right now. Let's go take liberties right now. And they did. And you saw it, the header goal last night.
Yep. Marcana got he was the final guy who is in like the regular starting rotation, to finally get his goal. And doesn't that speak volumes on Carnell? Like you were saying about if you show you're ready to get minutes, I'm going to give you minutes. I'll find minutes for you, and so to have 16 though different goal scorers, goal contributors this season, they lead the league in goal differential. So that's that's huge. All those sort of things. What they've been able to do at home again, it was lost last season, that home field advantage that they've, always thrived off of. That's back now. So, for all the negatives that we have, or not negatives, but, just worries and have our reservations about, when it comes to what this Union team can do against versus elite teams. I mean, they're positioning themselves to at least be in those games now. They're not getting blown out like they were, last year. They're in every single match because of their offensive ability to go get a goal. They had that little slump where they had where they didn't score a goal for a few games, but you can blame that on international duties and the regular rotation not being there. When this regular rotation is in and it's the normal starting lineup, this team can compete with anybody. And I think, like you said, that goes back to Carnell with what he's done and giving the guys the chances.
And I want to piggyback with a lot of things you just said. I mean, one, you brought up about this team that's kind of, this team's seeing a lot of, call-offs, dealt with injuries, and so forth. But again, and we're talking about draws here. We're not talking about necessary losses that this teams were really facing up until this point with all the call-outs and injuries. Like this team, and it goes back to the coach of being like having all these guys just having that hungry dog mentality. Next man up, next man up, next man up, next man up, next man up. They could, I mean, I felt like Bradley Cardinal could bring you and I in there and have us game ready and ready to go for, Saturday against Houston. I mean, this guy is just, I don't know what his message is on the practice field. I would love to be a fly in the air, to fly around to listen what he has to say to that squad. I like to be a drone and just sitting there and just listening to his message, because whatever he's delivering, this team is bought in. This team is bought in. Like I would have told you from Jump Street that this team was going to be, what are we, almost half of the way
Little
of the
over.
season,
Yeah,
little,
over now.
little
Yeah, a
over the
little bit
halfway of
over.
the season, that this team was going to be competing for supporting shield, that this team was going to have 3 players go to the All-Star game, that this team with a brand new head coach was going to be well bought in like a well-oiled machine. You probably thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
And again,
Time.
it just blows my mind about this guy.
Well, you look at the belief he had in Frankie Westfield, right? To
Yes.
put him in the starting rotation, right? So that shows you what he saw in him in practice and in training, right? But now look what it's done for this Union club when he got a call up and then he was injured and he was banged up. Last night, they were able to use him as a bench guy. So now you have this kid who has all these starts under his belt, all this confidence, who can now be a key a role player off the bench as a starter now. He can come in at any moments because, you know, Westfield, he had that confidence in him already. He had that dog in him. But man, you can't tell me that you don't get an extra level of confidence when your coach has that, belief and that trust and that confidence in you. So, and I think that's bleeding into another young kid like Makana and what he was able to do. He has been so good defensively this year. It has filled in Glavinovich being injured, right? Because he's still on the mend. So when he comes back, that's going to be like a new player because we haven't had him since what? I can't even remember when he got injured. I think it was Orlando. He
Mm-hmm.
got injured
Mm-hmm.
in April.
It's
So it's all good things. It's a good problem. It's good problems to have that many guys who can contribute, right?
Yeah, like I said, 16 players contributing to scoring confidence is just mind-boggling to me. And for a coach, like you said, that kind of challenges young team that wants the best out of his players. I mean, from starters, bench, janitor, whoever. I mean, this guy really does a phenomenal job getting the best out of the best. But what's your thoughts though on one CJ Alney going to Lexington for a loan deal?
Good for him. I think it's good. He is unfortunately the odd man out in the rotation
Yeah.
of next guys up, right? There when you have an academy like what in a farm system essentially, like what the Union have, there's going to be some guys who are left out. Sal Olivas is getting minutes now. Um, Vasquez has gotten minutes this year. Cavan got minutes last night. He's really that next guy who's probably going to be taking that next step, probably next season. So I'm happy for CJ to be able to go to a place where he's going to get some run and he's going to get some minutes to be able to prove himself. So and I think it's just for the remainder of the season.
Yes, yes. I talked with our good buddy of the show, Scott, and the great beat reporter, Skylar Hoffman, and me and him were talking about it last night. And he said the same thing you're saying. This is a great opportunity for the kid to go get some minutes in the USL, to get that experience, bring him in because he sees him to be that next Bedoya type of player. That's what
Oh
he
wow.
sees. And yeah, and listen, the kid caught my eye through that playoff run last year because he was always clutch. He was always making some crazy game-winning shot, and uh, I thought he was spectacular. So, but for him to get some minutes in the USL, enjoy the rest of the season, and then come back and see what we got.
Yeah, and he deserves it because it would just it's only going to mess you up and maybe you hold a
Mm-hmm.
grudge or whatever sort of you resent people for not getting minutes. So you want these guys to be happy and to get their opportunity. So good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, look, we're all happy for CJ. But this Philadelphia Union team's rocking and rolling. And last night we had a couple, big games on the slate there, Steve. We had, I think it was a couple blowouts. Miami got blown out by Cincy. Nashville
Needed
blew
that.
out Columbus. So yeah, there was a couple of games. Um, yeah, we definitely
Yep.
did. So
Red Bull.
anyway, Steve, let's look at this week's slate again. A couple of good games to look out for, but this time it's for the West Coast, not so much the East Coast going on this week. So
Yeah.
Steve, let's start out. Of course, let's start out Philadelphia Union heading down to Houston. Who do you got?
I like Philadelphia. I think they're gonna this Montreal match was a nice wake up call, right? Um, Trap game for sure, but also a wake up call where we there's no need to play down to the opponent. And I think this week, Houston coming off of back to back losses, I think the Union are going to be able to smell that blood in the water. Um, I think big week for Uwa. Uwa came back from injury. He got some minutes last night. I think he gets slid into the starting rotation. Big game for Uwa this week against Jack McGlynn, going back
Yeah.
up against former Union.
Yes, going to see his old buddy. I'm with you. I think. Give me a second there. I got to take my little guy to the bathroom. But yeah, I'm going to go Philadelphia Union, take the dub. I think they're going to smash up. I think they're going to go to Houston, not just get pulled pork sandwiches, but I think they're going to take care of Houston and turn them the Dynamo into a pulled pork sandwich. Next on the slate, I got Atlanta versus Charlotte. I got Charlotte. Who do you got?
Give me Charlotte. Give me Charlotte. Go ahead. And guys, while Pat is away, let me go over some of the great shows we got here at It's a Wrap Sports Network. The Headlines show, of course, the final word with the Matty B. What is that? Sunday through Thursday. And then Fridays, Pat hosting the wraparound, your late night to either end the week or start the weekend. However, talks about everything that's going on in the world of Philadelphia sports. Excuse me. And then, of course, Sunday mornings, 9 a.m., Pat Bernard, Mike Lauro, and Big Al behind the screen producing P and M in the AM every Sunday. What do they say? Your Sunday mornings will never be the same. And then we're on a break right now. We're the Fighting's final, but coming up post All-Star break, this would be your lineup for the Fighting's final. And I believe they're gonna be doing a mid-season show after this at 10 p.m. Fighting's final mid-season show. So make sure you guys are tuning into that if you missed those post-game shows for the last few nights. And I believe Pat is back. We're going to go back over, finish up this MLS around the league. There he is.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, so
We're back.
I got Charlotte. Did you get Charlotte as well? Because Joe's housing on the Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm going
trade.
Charlotte. I'm going Charlotte.
Okay, sweet deal.
Here we go.
Sweet deal.
He's got a Union 3-0 win. And Charlotte.
Nice.
Yep.
And Charlotte. Okay. Next on the slate, Montreal hosting Chicago.
Did Prince show you enough that he can go out and beat Chicago? I mean, Montreal's only got 3 wins on the season. So I don't think so. Let me go Chicago.
Prince Osua is someone I would love to see in a future time in a Philadelphia Union jersey. But you know what? This team stinks. That team stinks at home. So I think Chicago is going to go in there and take care of business.
Big time. Yeah, I'm with you there.
And Joe Howe is agreeing. He's in Chicago as well. Now you got Columbus and DC.
Columbus is going to blow these dudes out. They're gonna blow DC out. DC's not gonna. They might get one goal, but I see this being like a 4-1, 3-1 beatdown. Columbus wins.
Do you, do you, do you know what I smell? This is a Daniel Gosdog day. This is a Daniel Gosdog
Oh
day.
wow! Oh
My
no!
man's going to rack up a pair of goals. I'm going, yeah. Yes.
Joe's with us. All three of us got Columbus.
This is a Daniel Gosdog stamped all over it.
Hey, as long as it's not versus us, it can be a Daniel Gazdag game.
All right, next one. Next on the slate, we got New England and Orlando.
Both teams coming off L's. Orlando's kind of been struggling. Well, both teams kind of really been struggling. I'm gonna go. This is a draw. I can see this being a 1-1 or even like a 0-0 draw.
I'm going to go New England. It's up in the cold.
New England win.
This is a New England game. Next on the slate, Joe's with me. New York Red Bulls hosting Inter Miami.
Yeah, see, this is going to be a case where the Red Bulls are going to be just prisoner of wrong place, wrong time after Miami got beat down last night versus Cincinnati. So I think Miami beats them down pretty good.
I think Miami's going to handle small. Miami going to take their business. I think this is definitely a Messi's going to get a goal. I think the Splash Brothers of the MLS, to him and Suarez, are going to thump. They're going to go in there and they're going to roast this New York team.
Joe's with us.
You got next on the slate. FC.
We got
host.
Who is that? Seattle and San Jose, you said?
You got FC Dallas. FC Dallas hosting St. Louis.
Give me. I like Dallas. I like Dallas here. They've been struggling. I can see them getting a win.
All right, this is going to be my first 1-1 draw.
There's your draw. Okay.
That's my first 1-1 draw right there. We already did that one. Nashville hosting Toronto.
Ooh, Toronto, just feel bad for them. I don't think they're going to have enough. Just like what we talk about with Nashville, too much star power, too much offensive power. Toronto's it's going to be a bad day for them. Nashville win all the way.
If there's everything called load management in MLS, this would be the perfect time to do it, because I wouldn't let Mukhtar even sniff the field. I let him. Hey, listen, my man, go enjoy the press box. Go enjoy the meals. Enjoy the chicken and steak, whatever they got up there. Let the rest of the team, let the mascot take care of this team. You can have that. So yeah, I got Nashville stomping a mud hole, a good 3-0 win.
Yeah, and it's in
next
Nashville.
On the slate. Next on the slate, Pat Bernard's Seattle Sanders hosting San Jose.
San Jose is just so bad, and I feel like Seattle is better than where they're at in the rankings. So give me Seattle.
Give me Seattle as well. Give me a 2-1 win, Seattle. Next on the slate, supporting Kansas City, hosting New York NYC and NYCFC.
NYCFC, they're so unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get from them game in, game out. And I guess you kind of say the same thing about Kansas City. Give me NYCFC. I think
Yeah, I'm
they're the
going to
real
go
New York
into
team to worry about.
yes. You know what? They've been surprisingly racking up a couple of wins as of late. So supporting Kansas City is not looking to win. They can't spell it. So I'll give this one to New York. Utah, Salt Lake City hosting Cincinnati.
Oh, what do we got? Joe saying Seattle wins and a Nashville win, and then he's got NYCFC
Okay,
and Kansas
Joe.
City in a draw. Salt Lake
Ooh.
and Cincinnati. Um, Man, Cincinnati just looked so damn good against Miami last night, and Salt Lake's been playing good lately. But I think Cincinnati's too much. I think they get a narrow win.
This is going to be my second draw of the night. 2-2 draw.
That'd be great for the Union.
It would be great. Get them a little off our backs a little bit.
Joe says win
Joe's
for
going to
Salt
Salt
Lake.
Lake. We're going to have to.
There we
We're
go.
going to have to write this down. We're going to have to write this down. Then you got the game of the week to me right here. San Diego hosting Vancouver, the two best teams in the West right now, going toe to toe.
Yeah, San Diego, right? What a perfect first year so far for them, right? Franchise their inaugural season. But I think Vancouver gets the job done and beats them 1-0. 1-0 win.
All right, this is where we differ, Steve, because it's going to be in that hot, steaming sun of San Diego. And this is where San Diego is taking this cold team out of the cold, and they're going to thump them to a 1-0 San Diego. I'll give them that.
It's gonna be hard for San Diego. They can score some goals too, because their goal
Right.
differential is up there plus 15, so
They
they're up there
can.
with the Union. So
Yeah, must watch game. Battle. This is the Battle of LA. You have LA Galaxy taking on LAFC.
I think they call this
And
one
I'll go LAFC.
El Trafico.
Yeah, there you go. The El Trafico game.
Look at Galaxy; they got back-to-back wins a few weeks ago. But no, yeah, LAFC is they're gonna beat them. They're gonna beat them.
They're going to rip them apart. And, of course, the late game Saturday night as well. Portland, another decent game to watch. Portland at hosting Minnesota.
Joe's got LAFC.
Joe's
Let's go. I like Portland. I like Portland. Those teams. This is a big weekend. You're right. This is a big weekend for the Western Conference.
And it is. It's huge. It's blockbusterish. I'm going to go, and I want to believe in the Timbers, but something tells me this Minnesota team, they're a lot better this year. I want to go.
Yeah, Minnesota's a good team.
I'll leave it blank at a 0-0 draw.
Oh, wow. 0-0. Portland's got a hell of a fan base,
0-0.
too.
Their
stadiums are usually rocking, too. Yeah.
The Timbers are usually popping out there. But and Joe's got Portland winning. So Joe's on your side.
Portland,
Man, we should be
right.
There but yeah, so
he's on Facebook, so we'll see the comments. We'll see the comments on the stream. So we'll be able to track it.
Yes.
So it'll be good.
Yeah. So
Joe's the best.
Well, listen, Joe Hal, you are absolutely the man, my man. And it's always good to see you at the games. But listen, we appreciate Joe you chiming in with us, and whoever is out there watching the show. We definitely appreciate another episode of the Attack and Third. We'll be back next week to break down this Houston game and see what this team does against their old teammate of Jack Elliott or McGlynn. Sorry, and I'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
So,
not
guys,
yet.
enjoy your
Elliott's
night.
later on.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Stay tuned. Matty B's coming up at the 10 o'clock hour. He's going to be breaking down the first half of the Philly season. So, guys, stay tuned. Check him out. That's my main man right there. Again, if you haven't yet subscribed to It's a Wrap Sports, it is the hottest thing going. Like Steve was doing a lot of the show montages. Again, guys, if you like your Union soccer, stay here. Tomorrow, you can hang out with me again at 10:30 at night. I'll be talking some Philly Water Dogs for you, any lacrosse fans out there. So I'll be bringing down some the Water Dogs again, another good team of the city, winning right now, sitting at 4-2. I'll be breaking down their game coming up as well against Steve's Maryland Whip Snakes. So again, I'll be talking about that, and then of course Sunday, me and that nitwit. Sunday mornings, yes, your Sundays will never be the same again because PM and the AM are back, and I need blood pressure medicine, maybe some alcohol, and a lot of prayers to deal with that guy. But anyway, guys, we are back here. It's the Rough Sports again. Thank you so much, and it's time for us. Thank you, Joe, as always, for you being a kind and gentle contributor to the show as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We are out.
Oop.